The postcard arrived on a dreary Monday morning, the kind of day where the sky seems to weep endlessly. A picture of a majestic mountain, half shrouded in mist, instantly transported me back to our pact, a promise made in the fervor of youth. We were 18, full of dreams and boundless energy, laughing as we packed our backpacks for smaller adventures. We promised to climb Mount Elbert someday, sealing our vow with a handshake and a shared look of determination. But life, as it always does, got in the way. Responsibilities piled up, and our dreams were pushed aside. Years flew by in a blur of college exams, career milestones, and relationships that came and went, each leaving its mark. Yet, the mountain in the postcard seemed to beckon, a silent reminder of our forgotten vow, a whisper from the past urging us to remember. I called Sarah immediately. It was time to honor our promise, to reclaim a piece of our youthful ambition. 2 weeks later, backpacks packed and boots laced up, we set off with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The worries of our everyday lives faded into the background as we drove towards the wilderness, the landscape growing more rugged and beautiful with each passing mile. It was the escape we both desperately craved, a chance to leave behind the noise and chaos of our daily routines. A chance to reconnect with nature and each other, to find solace in the simplicity of the wild. Little did I know, this trip would change everything. It was more than just a hike. It was a journey into the depths of our souls. We were about to embark on a journey of self-discovery, adventure, and unexpected emotions, each step bringing us closer to the heart of the mountain and to ourselves. The mountain, I could feel it, held secrets waiting to be unveiled, mysteries that had been hidden for centuries. We just had to be brave enough to climb, to face the challenges ahead with courage and an open heart. The trailhead was bustling with fellow hikers. We adjusted our backpacks, the weight both familiar and comforting. It was time to let the mountain work its magic. The air, crisp and cool, smelled of pine needles and damp earth. Each inhale felt like a cleansing breath, washing away the city's grime and worries. Sunlight dappled through the dense canopy of trees, painting fleeting patterns on the forest floor. We fell into a comfortable rhythm, our footsteps the only sound in the quiet woods. There was an unspoken understanding between us. Years of friendship had woven an invisible thread, connecting us. As the trail gradually ascended, so did our spirits. Every challenging bend, every slippery slope only strengthened our resolve. We were in this together, two friends against the wild. Little did we know our adventure was just beginning. We shared stories as we hiked, our laughter echoing through the trees. Memories of awkward first dates, disastrous job interviews, and shared dreams tumbled out, each tale weaving us tighter into the fabric of each other's lives. The miles melted away with every shared joke, every heartfelt confession. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the path, we decided to set up camp. We found a clearing, nestled amidst towering pines, a babbling brook serenading us nearby. The air grew cooler, the silence broken only by the crackling fire we built. Under the vast, star-dusted sky, we reminisced about our childhood dreams. The mountains, silhouetted against the moonlit sky, seemed to listen intently to our hopes and fears. Little did I know, a different kind of spark was igniting between us, fueled by shared moments and unspoken emotions. The next morning, invigorated by the fresh mountain air, we continued our ascent. The trail grew steeper, winding its way through rocky outcrops and dense undergrowth. It was during one of these challenging stretches that we encountered him. He was tall, with a rugged charm and kind eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled. A fellow hiker, he was lost, unsure of the trail ahead. We offered him our map, his fingers brushing against Sarah's as he took it. A fleeting touch, but yet it seemed to hang in the air, charged with an unfamiliar energy. He introduced himself as David, his voice warm and friendly. We chatted for a while, our initial apprehension giving way to easy conversation. He was easy to talk to, his presence both calming and exhilarating. A strange mix of emotions stirred within me, a mixture of curiosity and something else I couldn't quite place. Section 5, Jealousy's Whisper, the First Crack. We ended up hiking together, David's presence altering the dynamic between Sarah and me. He shared stories of his travels, his passion for adventure mirroring our own. His laughter came easily, and I found myself drawn to his energy, his zest for life. I noticed the way Sarah's eyes lit up when he spoke, how her laughter seemed to flow more freely when he was around. A knot of unease tightened in my chest, an unfamiliar pang of jealousy. I pushed the feeling away, chiding myself for the absurd thought. He was just a fellow hiker, a fleeting encounter on our journey. As we continued our hike, the air grew heavy with unspoken tension. The once comfortable silence between Sarah and me was now punctuated by David's presence. We had invited him into our adventure, but in doing so, had we unwittingly unleashed a force that threatened to disrupt the delicate balance of our friendship. Section 6. The Ascent. Physical and Emotional Challenges. The final ascent to the summit was grueling. The air thinned, each breath a labored effort. But the breathtaking views spurred us onward. With every step closer to the peak, a strange mix of emotions swirled within me. Exhilaration at the physical challenge, anticipation for the summit's reward, and a growing unease about the shifting dynamics between Sarah, David, and me. We helped each other navigate the treacherous paths, our hands brushing, our bodies close. Each touch sent a jolt of awareness through me, confusing and exhilarating. The mountain, it seemed, was not only testing our physical limits, but our emotional ones as well. As we finally stumbled upon the summit, a collective gasp escaped our lips. The world stretched out before us, a breathtaking panorama of snow-capped peaks and verdant valleys. But even as I marveled at the view, I couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted irrevocably within our little group. Sunset Revelations. Confessions under the Stars. That night, camped under a canopy of 1,000,000 stars, David confessed his feelings for Sarah. His words, heartfelt and sincere, hung in the air, changing the atmosphere between us. I watched Sarah, her face illuminated by the flickering flames of our campfire, a myriad of emotions flitting across her features. She admitted she felt it too, the undeniable pull towards him. I listened, my heart a confusing mix of happiness for my friend and a strange, aching emptiness within my own chest. Had I been blind to the depth of my own feelings for her, feelings that ran deeper than just friendship? The mountain air was suddenly thick with unspoken words, a tangle of emotions we were only beginning to unravel. As the moon cast long, dancing shadows around us, I realized that some journeys change you, not only physically, but emotionally as well. And this journey, it seemed, was far from over. The choice, friendship or love? The descent was filled with a palpable tension. Every shared glance, every casual touch between Sarah and David felt like a betrayal, a silent confirmation of my own unspoken feelings. I felt like a third wheel, an outsider in what was once our shared adventure. Sarah, ever perceptive, noticed my withdrawal. One evening, as David tended to the campfire, she gently confronted me. Tears welled up as I confessed my own confusing emotions, the realization that I had fallen for her, my best friend. She listened patiently, her silence speaking volumes. We talked late into the night, the crackling fire the only witness to our raw honesty. She admitted she had feelings for both of us, her heart torn between the familiar comfort of our friendship and the thrilling unknown with David. The weight of her confession hung heavy in the air, leaving us both with an impossible choice. A bittersweet farewell, the journey's end. We reached the trailhead, the end of our physical journey. As we hugged goodbye, a bittersweet ache settled in my heart. The mountain had tested our limits, pushed us to confront our deepest fears and desires. We had shared laughter, tears, and a connection that ran deeper than we could have ever imagined. David, ever the gentleman, gave Sarah his number, his eyes filled with hope and a touch of uncertainty. As they said their goodbyes, I saw a flicker of hesitation in Sarah's eyes, a silent question she was still trying to answer. As we drove away, the majestic peak of Mount Elbert receding in the rearview mirror, I knew that our lives were forever changed. We had embarked on this journey as friends, but we were returning with hearts full of unspoken words, uncharted paths, and the daunting yet exhilarating task of figuring out what came next. Reflections, growth and transformation. Months have passed since our adventure. The memory of the mountain, its towering presence, and the emotional roller coaster it took us on remains vivid. Life has a way of pulling you back into its routines, but something fundamental had shifted within me. Sarah and David keep in touch, their connection a slow burn, the outcome still uncertain. And me, I'm learning to navigate the complexities of my own heart. The mountain, in its own way, had stripped us bare, forcing us to confront our truths. The journey, with all its unexpected turns and emotional upheavals, taught me the importance of embracing vulnerability, of speaking my truth, even when my voice trembled. It taught me that love, in all its messy and complicated forms, is always a risk worth taking. And most importantly, it reminded me that sometimes the greatest adventures are the ones that lead us back to ourselves.